Obesity has been a growing issue in the United States. Specifically, childhood obesity is concerning us the most. With the increasing prevalence of the disease, we are called to bring our attention to what we can do to help it. Children all over our nation are suffering from obesity, experiencing physical, mental, and emotional oppositions. Science is bringing these challenges to the public, explaining the potential health problems that children will face as they mature. Nearly 17% of children between the ages 2 and 19 were obese in America, as of a study conducted in 2011 and 2012, and about 20.5% of children ages 12 to 19 were obese. According to the State of Obesity Organization website, childhood obesity has more than tripled since 1980. It is recommended that children get about 60 minutes of physical activity every day. The National Institute of Health states that children ages 6 to 11, only 49% of boys and 35% of girls are getting the recommended amount of physical activity every day, and only 8% of children ages 12 to 15 meet this recommendation. As you have heard, childhood obesity is an intensifying matter in our country today. We are hoping to diminish the disease with the help of our government by monitoring school programs to benefit child health and by using the advances in science to the best of our advantages. The introduction and statistics were an important part of our PSA because it explained to viewers the point we were trying to get across, but also gave perspective on how serious of an issue childhood obesity is. In the PSA, it begins with an animated drawing of several things that are mentioned throughout the video. We thought this would bring a creative touch to the video and draw viewers in to see all that we wanted to share with them. It was important to us to include statistics here because the drawing brings so much attention that the viewers could easily read the statistics we wanted to present. We used the childhood obesity website that we created earlier in the semester as one of our campaign pieces. We thought this would be a simple way to share a lot of information. Some changes were made to the website as well. The references area was updated, information about the food plate, while you'll hear more about that later, was added, a copy of the brochure, which is our second campaign piece, was shared, and the video of Michelle Obama that we used in our PSA was posted so that our readers would be able to watch the entire video. This website is an easy way for parents or anyone interested in childhood obesity to obtain the information in one location.
It would be kind of hard to aim our project at children and try to show them how big of an issue it is and how we are trying to fix it. Therefore, it makes the most sense to target the next best thing, their parents. Parents have the most influence on their children, so they can make the most impact on their decisions. This can be seen in the picture of the child and the parent who are both obese. In this case, that would be a bad decision and how they affect each other. Although parents have the most influence, it is still possible for others to help the problem as well, but on a greater scale. Parents have the advantage of being on a closer level and see the side effects that come along with obesity, and assuming that most parents want the best for their children, if they become more educated, they can help make a big impact on the issue. Obesity is not something that just became a problem. It has been on the rise for a great amount of time, but as time goes on, there is an increased risk, and it has become more prevalent in our world. According to the Mayo Clinic website, there are many physical complications from childhood obesity like type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, high cholesterol and blood pressure, asthma, a range of sleep disorders, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, early puberty or menstruation, along with a slew of emotional and social problems. These can be seen by the pictures of the children at the doctor's office. It is easy to see that there is a serious problem being dealt with here, and efforts need to be made to create awareness so a stop can potentially be made to it, or at least significantly decrease the amount of children that it affects. The world is filled with unhealthy decisions everywhere. If an unhealthy decision is being made by a parent, such as eating fast food for a majority of meals, chances are a child is going to become used to those decisions and likely make them themselves once they're older, thus creating a vicious cycle that needs to be stopped.
In order to get a better understanding of what normal people thought about the issue of childhood obesity, we decided that it would be best to take a poll. We did a simple random sample of people we encountered on a daily basis. Um, we asked them a series of questions that went along with childhood obesity, which included: do you know anyone affected by childhood obesity? What are examples of healthy foods that could be consumed in order to prevent or reduce the prevalence of obesity? And lastly, we asked, what are the ways that an obese child can lose weight to live a healthier lifestyle, in your opinion? After revising the results from our polls, we came to the conclusion that almost everybody knows someone who has been affected by childhood obesity. And almost everyone who knew somebody that had been affected by childhood obesity had very good ideas and ways to prevent and the ways to prevent and way to lose weight. One other tool we used to get some public knowledge was interviews. Our first interview was with McKenna Kendall. She was a student here at UK. In this interview, we asked her some simple questions about childhood obesity just to see how much she knew about the issue. This interview was really important, I thought, because it helped the whole team gain valuable information on what the public knows and what we think they need to know about childhood obesity in order to get our point across. With our second interview, and probably more valuable one, we interviewed Dr. Tara Shammy. She is a pediatrician and deals with childhood obesity on a daily basis. In this interview, we got a lot of insight on the problem that childhood obesity is becoming. In this full interview I'm about to show, you can really see how Dr. Shammy's insight really helped us come to a conclusion on how to solve childhood obesity.
It's about childhood obesity and just like your professional opinion on everything. My first question is, how do you think childhood obesity is affecting our society?
That's a broad question. Let's see. Well, I think in general, obviously, I guess by definition, everyone seems to be overweight, which in turn, they're less active and they're, I guess even just with the foods that they're buying, a lot of times it's supply and demand. So because they're buying all the junk that's a lot of times what's in the store, not some of the healthier things, just the aisles and aisles of processed foods. And I guess people kind of lead by example. And if people that you see and look up to out there aren't, eating the healthy things and being active as a society, people are going to kind of look and do some of the more unhealthy things.
My second question is, what are the most common health issues that you're seeing with the overweight or obese children that you're treating?
We're seeing type 2 diabetes in younger kids than what typically we're seeing. There's a lot of self-esteem and bullying because of it too, which is, I guess kind of a medical problem, because then that in turn causes depression and anxiety and things like that. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, a lot of those type of things. A lot of mental health because of the obesity too.
Yeah. How are you addressing the issue to the parents of these children?
So what I do is at every well visit, we check their height and their weight, and we do a BMI. So we, show them where their child is compared to everyone else and where they should be at. And if they're obese, then I, make sure they can see it on paper. Hopefully that kind of hits home a little bit. And then we discuss things that they can do. We discuss healthier eating and not snacking and trying to not eat, some of the processed stuff, eating more fruits and vegetables, trying to get out there and be active, a lot of those things. And if they are really obese, sometimes we'll even refer them to like a dietitian or even more of like a program that can kind of help them and encourage them even more.
Well, in that you just answered my fourth question, which was, what was your advice on how we can get these children to lose weight? So that was all.
Okay.
It was with this interview where we decided that our target audience should not be the children, or should not even be people our age, that it should be parents. The parents are the key to solving childhood obesity, and knowledge of the parents is what will stop it.
One of our campaign pieces is a brochure. What does the brochure contain? The brochure introduces parents to the food plate because most parents are more familiar with the food pyramid. The brochure explains the differences in the plate and the pyramid, as well as offers advice about healthy eating. Why did we choose a brochure? We chose to create a brochure because it is an easy way to get the information out. The brochure is for parents and to make them aware of childhood obesity and how serious it really is. It is a very informative piece about what the food plate is and why it's more effective than the food pyramid. As you can see here, the first part of the brochure is just introducing what My Plate is and offering advice to parents on how to go grocery shopping for healthy foods without spending a lot of money. This is an important part of the brochure because most parents aren't familiar with the My Plate at all, so they are curious as to what it is and also just how they can incorporate it into their child's eating habits. This is the second part of the brochure, and this focuses on how the plate should be divided and how to divide the food groups up. This page of the brochure also offers advice on healthier food options without spending a lot of money at the grocery store. This page is important because parents may not be well educated on healthy food options, and by reading this brochure, we give them specific examples on what to buy to satisfy each food group. In order to reduce the childhood obesity number, we think the solution would be successful by starting in schools. Schools need to offer healthy lunch options every day to help kids get used to healthy eating. We would also like to see Coke machines taken out of schools and replace them with healthier options such as water. It is also important to make sure the students get at least 60 minutes of exercise a day, and that could easily take place during a typical school day. This could be recess or even a gym class. It would also be helpful if schools advertised the food plate around the school and made kids familiar and knowledgeable about childhood obesity.
Our second step is to inform the parents so that they can make healthy options for their kids as well. If the parents don't buy unhealthy foods, then the kids won't be able to eat unhealthy foods. Since the parents are in charge of going to the grocery or buying meals for the day, it is their responsibility to make healthy decisions for their children. Parents can also decide how much exercise their children get. Parents should let them go outside and run around with their friends and/or play the sports that interest them because it is an introduction to a healthy lifestyle. In conclusion, we need to reduce the number of children affected by childhood obesity. There are two simple solutions, and that is to inform schools and inform parents. If we take action in providing healthy meals at schools and by informing parents to buy healthy foods for their children at home, the number of children experiencing childhood obesity will definitely decrease. Most people don't see childhood obesity as a problem, but we think that's just because they aren't as informed as they need to be. This could easily be fixed, and we should take action as soon as we can. Children don't deserve all the negative experiences that come with being overweight at such a young age, and we have the opportunity and ideas to stop it. We chose this topic because it is a more serious issue than most people think, and a lot of people aren't very informed about it. We chose our target audience to be parents because at a young age, they are the ones making the decisions for their children. If they start making healthy decisions early on, children will get used to that lifestyle and make healthy decisions on their own in the future. This is an important topic for people to care about because it affects everyone in some way. Whether you experience it yourself or someone you know is experiencing it, there are way too many children affected by this disease every day.